We're going on a cruise. Lo, si Donya naka-Prada pa daw, pay-paiswata na. Ready? Ma! Ma! Diyan o sa may boat. Yan. Di ka naglipistik, mother. Hi! Lola! Hello, Nay. Hello. You're going on a cruise. Hi, Abby. Hi. You ready? Oh, yay! Are you ready to go on a boat? We're going on the boat. We'll take out.
Aboard the Miss Waterton for 6 o'clock sunset cruise, as we call it. We're here on the Upper Waterton Lake. A beautiful day here in the park. Some think it's too hot. I never say it's too hot because I'm a Southern Albertan. And I wait 10 months for too hot. Right?
Yes.
It's coming. It's right around the corner. There's only 2 seasons here. This winter and next winter. That's what's on everybody's mind. You have a crew of 3, a very experienced captain, Captain Kevin here at the helm. He's getting married next month. There's a liquor store in town, and it's open year-round. What does that tell you? 60 residents. The sign on the door says open from time to time. I think he puts his phone number there because he lives in the back. 2 hotels stay open, the Waterton Lakes Lodge and the Glacier Suite, so you can come down in the middle of winter, rent a room, go cross-country skiing, snowshoeing up around Cameron Lake. It is absolutely phenomenal. It's a very well-kept secret, actually. So if you want to escape the rat race, the mayhem of the city in the middle of winter, come on down and enjoy our winters here. It is beautiful in the winter, and it is extremely quiet. Maybe you need that. Towering over the rooftops, 4,000 feet above the town site, the beautiful Mount Bertha Mountain. The lake is hemmed in by 10 beautiful ancient giants, and I'll name them for you as we make the trip. A lot of the names are very common names, people's last names, and for the most part, people we know nothing about. A lot of them are named after members of the early boundary survey crews. They came through here surveying the 49th parallel as far back as 1872. A part of their job was to map out the area and name the peaks for future reference. So I don't know if they named them for those names to stick or knew the names were going to stick, but they go around putting their own names on the mountains or someone they admired. In fact, Waterton Lakes, named after a British naturalist and writer, Sir Charles Waterton. He had the world's first bird sanctuary. He was a bit extravagant, but he never came here. He never saw this lake and this park that's been named after him. So give you an idea how we named things in the early days. On the left, this is Mount Vimy, and that name certainly has a lot of meaning to us Canadians. Right? Battle of Vimy Ridge in France, World War I. Hats off to the soldiers that lost their lives, and also the ones that captured Vimy Ridge, and were first to do so, where others had failed. The beginning of Canada as an independent nation and a turning point in the war. So to commemorate that battle, the lives lost, we named this Mount Vimy. Isn't she gorgeous? It's Mount Vimy. And there's a trail that you can hike up the backside of that mountain right to the summit. It's one of the only mountains around here with a maintained hiking trail. Anybody into that? It didn't take long to get out of control. And on the evening of September 11th, it came down out of the Akamina Valley, right over top of the town site. 70-kilometer-an-hour winds, fanning the flames. When the winds are that high, fires crown. They go across the treetops and then burn down to the forest floor. That fire was moving, they reckon, around 30 kilometers an hour as it came towards town. Crypt Landing on the left, I'll elaborate more later. That's the trail up to Crypt Lake. So you look back at that town site and you think, how did that town site not burn to the ground? Because it should have burned like a matchstick, no doubt about it. 250 firefighters remained behind after the mandatory evacuation. They had diesel pumps in the lake and they were sucking water out of the lake very smart obviously, through a high-pressured sprinkler system around the base of Mount Bertha. They were soaking the woods there for about 10 days before the fire approached. What a great idea, what a great buffer to slow that fire down before it came into town. But it would have been raining fireballs over the community with that kind of wind. So they were going around town putting out these spot fires, and they, through their efforts, they saved every single building in the town site. Not
That's
one,
amazing.
even a shed was lost.
Wow.
So hats off to the firefighters of the 2017
Yeah.
Keenan Mountain
Clap, clap, clap,
Wildfire.
clap, 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 clap.
Absolutely. Forest fires, are they bad or are they good? They're not good for us. Look at this.
No, not good for us, but they're good for the natural.
Absolutely, yes. You know about forest ecology, sir. Forests need to burn. If you live in a forest, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, so be prepared. Have a sandpipe system on your roof with sprinklers and ready to go. Because forests burn. They've always been burning ever since there's been forests, and forest fires are renewal, they're rebirth in the forest. Most of that forest had not burned in recorded history. In 2018, the slopes of those mountains were black. It looked horrible. It was depressing to look at, I'll be honest. And I've lived through my whole life. There were soot clouds blown up when the wind would blow. But look at it now. Only 4 years later, look at the new vegetation that has come back. It is amazing habitat for the 60 mammals that reside here in this national park, especially bears, because most of those are berry bushes. And that's the bear's #1 staple. So don't think of it as such a bad thing. It may take 80, 100 years for the trees to regain on the slopes of these mountains.
Yeah.
But that's nothing in the life of a forest. You're looking at a forest that's roughly 12,000 years old, since the last major ice age when this was buried in ice for 2 million years.
Wow.
Across the lake. You feel that breeze coming through the windows?
That's super nice. Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Be very careful there.
Yeah, I got her.
Be very careful, okay?
That's our natural air conditioner. You guys remember that heat wave in early July?
Something I did when I was 20.
Something you did when you were 20. We all did something when we were 20. Yeah. I don't think you have to worry.
It's
here.
gonna
There's
come
no
up right here where between
official
the-
form of customs.
Between the...
Relax, man. I had a guy,
Yeah,
one time I was
no.
joking, I said we're going
It's
to
a
be
bit
boarded
like
by
a
a customs
complete
officer.
solid
Guy at the back
line.
threw his bag over the side of the floor.
This is Montana.
Things you see.
Crossing the
There you go.
border.
How many of you knew the trees don't grow on the border? It's a natural phenomenon. No, I'm just kidding.
Cut it
How many
down.
of you knew we cut them down every 15 years, 10, 15 years? And all the way to the Pacific, off to the right, they clear that line all the way to the Strait of Georgia, Strait of Juan de Fuca area along the BC-Washington coastline. And you're looking due west there, obviously, with the line into British Columbia, 7 miles from here to British Columbia, Alberta, Montana, all come together.
Do you have
We're
to
going
have
to
your...
spin around so everyone gets a view, yeah?
Do you have to have your passport to...
Did you bring a
do
passport?
a hike? No, when you're
see.
hiking. No, I didn't do it.
Never give your passport to a tour guide.
No.
Yeah, if you want to hike here in the summertime, you have to clear customs at the end of the lake.
Oh.
Feet of ice will form on the surface depending on the severity of the winter to follow. Typically breaks up around late March or early April. Off to the right, the town site of Waterton as viewed from the water. The only commercial development in this national park. Isn't that great? I walked around the whole thing in 45 minutes. There's 2 main streets, one on the lakeside and one mountain. It is a seasonal destination for sure. Our season starts in May, early May, typically. Not counting the cold. You guys drinking enough water today? How many of you bought water? How many of you filled your water from the taps in Waterton Town Site? 1? That's it? You guys. We call this camera clear. It is ice cold right out of the tap. So don't waste your money buying water while you're here. You're drinking some of the best drinking water out of the tap on earth here in Waterton. So hold up your water bottles. Cheers. Ridge.
Porcupine Ridge.
Glacier Parks. Stunning beauty for you guys. Majestic, rugged, natural, untouched beauty. Stunning. Two markers on this side, a concrete marker in the foreground, a bronze marker in the background that's been painted silver. When you have these two markers lined up, you have a surveyor's view. 49 degrees north latitude, the international border, the longest undefended border on planet Earth. Should be very proud of that. This park is a symbol of peace between our two nations, created in 1932 by the efforts of Rotary International, Rotarians, that lobbied with Congress and Parliament to have these two parks joined together at the border rather than separated. How do you separate an ecosystem? Nature sees no boundaries, and if I had to elaborate, I'd say a bear doesn't stop here at the line and go, I'm a Canadian bear. Can't take my berries across, so I gotta pay duty. No, they walk right across. They don't recognize it. Only humans recognize it. All in national parks, in places like this. Where are you guys going to eat tonight? My recommendation of the day, Trapper's Mountain Grill here in town. They have a smoker in the alley. Not a cigarette smoker. They smoke everything in the alley. Well, not everything. They smoke all their meats in the alley. How's that?
Did you guys have fun? Abby?
Oh, sige, ayan na.
Yan, naka-video na kayo, ma. Is that a lot of fun?
Yes.
I kind of,
I'm the border without the passport. Diba, hindi ka dapat nagdagay.
It was so thrilling to cross the border for almost 2 years.
Naka-on yung data ko habang nagla-live ako. Ala, may data, ano na yun? Charge over charge.
Over?
So, yeah.
I definitely would recommend something like that. Go inside so that you can actually listen to what the tour guide is talking about. Because if you're upstairs, it's too windy and it's hard to focus. And it's safer for kids because Abby wants to see every single part of it. But it was a lot of fun. The guys are super fun, super friendly and very informative with what they're talking about. They know what they're talking about. So that's a lot of fun. What's your take, Tita?
Very nice.
What else? What do you like about it?
Learn a lot about this WATERTON park. The trees.
No. With that information, would you like to hike now more?
Yes, I would.
We need to
Go power.
We need to be more physical and fit.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that we can't even hike one bear hump in one day? Guy hike six mountains a day. It's crazy, but it was a lot of fun and it was nice and relaxing. Beautiful views. It makes you appreciate the nature more. So go and explore. See you in our next adventure. Bye. Kasala? Kasala? Are you hungry?
Stop right here. Stop.
Is that your hungry dance?